All right, you are Michelle Schiffer. Okay, you are charged with felony authorized sexual assault of a child between 14 and 17 years old.
And, Your Honor, there's a second charge.
There's a second charge?
Although the probable cause statements are identical.
Yes, they are.
I'm sorry? Yeah. I have, is the other,
It's improper relationship with the student. They did them at the same time.
Okay.
And they are warrants. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yes, if you could give me some. I think I read one warrant. I assume they're the same for both.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is, yeah, go ahead.
The sexual assault is going to be on July 14th, 2017. The improper relationship between an educator and a student is going to be July 21st, 2017. The Cy Springs principal was advised by an anonymous student that a Cy Springs teacher was involved with a student in an inappropriate sexual relationship. The complainant, who is a Cy Springs student, admitted to having a sexual relationship with the defendant. The complainant stated that he was also a former student of the defendant. The complainant stated that in mid-July 2017, the defendant and the complainant had sexual intercourse in an apartment. On a different occasion, in the summer of 2017, the complainant stated the defendant picked him up at a park, and while in the defendant's car, the complainant digitally penetrated the defendant's vagina. Officers interviewed the defendant. The defendant admitted to having sexual intercourse with the complainant during the summer of 2017. The defendant stated that on a second occasion in the summer of 2017, the defendant and the complainant rode around in her motor vehicle smoking marijuana, and she performed oral sex on the complainant.
Okay. All right. Warrants have already been issued in both of these cases, which means that probable cause has already been determined, so we really don't have to do that. I just needed to have some idea of what the allegations were. Do you consent to have the public defender help you in setting it up?
Yes.
Inspector.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Schiffer is 23 years old. She's a U.S. citizen. She has lived at the same house in Houston since 2000, with the exception of when she went away for college. That house is owned by her parents. They've lived here since 2000, since I moved from St. Louis for her dad's job, but she's at the same place. We know exactly where to find her. My understanding is it's just Ms. Schiffer, her mom, who does work doing some benefits calculations, and her father, who I believe is 63, unemployed but looking for work. It's just the three of them. There are no minors in the household. This is not an apartment. It's a freestanding house. She does not have any children of her own. Obviously, if it wasn't clear already, she's losing her job because of the case, and will not have a source of income for the foreseeable future. She did graduate from Sam Houston. She majored in history, and she'd planned, she wants to go back and get her master's, either in history, or she was considering international studies. She does have some significant medical conditions I wanted to let the court know about. She's got asthma and a heart murmur, and her mother has multiple sclerosis, and the family takes care of everybody. She's never been arrested before. I understand she told pretrial services that she might be able to afford $5,000 upon speaking with her more in depth. That is the total sum in her bank account right now, which doesn't account for the fact that she needs to hire a lawyer on 2 very serious felony cases. She is unemployed and is not going to be making more money, and I can't imagine that she is likely to find easy employment with these cases. She also needs to help out with the bills that are coming up. So I understand that she's reported $5,000, but I do not think that that accurately reflects her finances. I would also remind the court Her father's unemployed at 63 and is trying to find a job, but you can imagine how difficult that might be for him. And her mother is stable employment, but not bringing in, any big bucks by any span of the imagination. The other thing that I feel it's important to draw attention to, besides, her extraordinarily low rankings, these cases have identical probable cause statements there. And I'm obviously not her lawyer on the main case, Judge, and I haven't reviewed the file, but my understanding is that the state is essentially charging the same conduct in two different ways. This is one student allegation. This is not multiple students. Respectfully, Judge, Ms. Cruz and I were speaking about it, and we find it difficult to imagine a scenario in which ultimately, no matter how the case is resolved or, whatever happens, one is not subsumed by the other, or it's the same conduct, two different ways of charging it. I don't mean to minimize the conduct that is alleged, Judge. I'm just saying that I believe that it accurately reflects one main case that we're dealing with. With that in mind, as well as her complete lack of criminal history, and she's not in any way, shape, or form a flight risk, and I don't believe that she has the money to afford real bonds at this time. I am asking for a downward departure. I don't mean to be, I'm going to ask for, I think no more than $25,000 in total bonds across however you want to split them up. I see that this would still be more than she can afford at this time. And thank you, Judge. I'm sorry.
How old's the,
So, from the probable cause statement, that allegation that the officer put in is that the student is 16 now, and the officer alleges that he would have been 15 at the time of the offense. That's the information I'm basing that off of.
And yes, Your Honor, and the state would request a $50,000 bond on both cases and a no contact with anyone under 18 imposed.
I'm still waiting for my other form.
You know what? It's not you. Don't worry. I know what to do. Yeah. If it didn't work, I'll come back.
All right, well, we'll follow the guidelines set up by PSA and set the sexual assault with child case at $30,000. And I'll refer that bond, your shipper to the judge in the 177th District Court. So if you haven't made bond by the time you get there, certainly you're free to ask that judge to knock some more off. And on the, let's see, another rate sheet for this one.
My PSA judge recommends a $10,000 bond. I'm sorry.
Was it 10,000?
That's what my sheet was on the improper relations.
All right. Set that bond to 10,000, and I'll refer that bond as well. Ma'am, when you get to court, like I said, you'll be going to the 177th District Court. When you get there, will you be asking for a court-appointed lawyer, or are you going to hire one?
Hire one.
Okay. And are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. You can step to your left and see the difference, please.
Your Honor, can we get the no
I'm
contact?
sorry. I'm trying to figure out what we've come up with here. Yes, I need the name.
The state requested no contact with anyone under 18.
You have the actual student's name in this case.
I have initials of JJ.
You know who JJ is?
I believe so, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think at this time, I'm not sure that we are aware based on those initials, Judge.
Your Honor, I just have the initials of JJ.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I will put no contact with the student slash complaining witness. How about that? And nobody under 18?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any reason that you can think of that she needs to have contact with anybody under 18, brothers, sisters?
No, Judge.
Okay.
Seems a bit draconian, but we understand.
Yeah. All right, no contact with the complaining witness slash student, and no contact with anyone less than 18 years old. Okay, then you understand those two conditions? Okay, thank you very much. You can step to your left and see the deputies, please.